What is going on, friends? Sean Don coming back with a technical analysis. Here we have Nick Walechka, which confused me at first because I was like, Walechka, that sounds familiar. I also coach what I assume is his brother, Connor Walechka, who also goes to a WIAC school. And then Nick himself goes to Platteville. He's teammates with another one of my online athletes, Justin Eichler. So, love to see the WIAC coaching tree growing. It's just dope. Love to see it. Love to help out, especially the D3 athletes. Because seeing as I was a D3 athlete myself, just love to help those people out. You know. But yeah, before we get into today's video, go check out my website www.gripandrip.co and sign up for some online technical analysis, some online coaching. Help your brother out. Help me continue to fund the dream, if you will. And then I also get to help you throw farther, which I love. So once again, gripandrip.co, go check out my coaching services page. So let's start breaking this stuff down. So we have two videos from Nick because both were all right, but kind of not great in their own ways. This throw, I just had a hard time picking between which two throws to analyze, which of the two throws to analyze. This one, I think, has a little bit better orbit around the left. In terms of, and then also better stability in terms of your body in the throw. But you can also see the ball's dropping a lot on that right side. The orbit gets really steeper on the left. And then, yeah, it's just not the most ideal orbit. So just to take one more look, as you can see, ball drops, goes up, drops, and goes up. But pretty solid finish. Where if we go to the second video, which I think this is going to be the one I actually analyze. As you can see here, this throw is a little bit flatter, but a little bit less stable in terms of what the body's doing. So just to kind of give you some feedback, I saw the first video and I think, oh man, the orbit's really steep. But then in this throw, the orbit's flatter, which is better. So I think this is kind of more of the throw you should go with. But let's just start ripping it. Let's just start breaking it down. So you're starting square at the back of the circle. Slinging in down the legs, setting up that left side stability, pretty decent here. You can see the head's leading a little bit, but not bad. As the ball goes through zero, you're chilling out a little bit, you're letting the ball pass. You're a little bit ahead of it. That right arm doesn't really straighten out until maybe just about there. So maybe you could think about trying to open up a little bit earlier or a little bit more at the start of the throw and try to widen that orbit around the right side, longer right side orbit, more patience through zero, so you can get that right arm a little bit straighter or straight, 100% straight as the ball gets through zero. And not too much left side shifting back. There's a little bit, you could poke that left shoulder out over that left toe a little bit more. But pretty good patience, pretty good connection as the ball goes through zero. You're turning with it. Your right side's a little bit behind because your left side's a little bit ahead. But not bad so far. And you can see there's just a little bit of lift up here in the shoulders. It's very subtle. It's not a big deal just yet. So as you're going through single support, ball's getting out left. You're going to step in. You can see you start to relax and drop the hands a little bit here. Pretty good lower body positioning, pretty connected here. I would like to see, like I said, a little bit more stability in that left side and entry. Like I said, it shifts back just a tiny bit. Like you can see, it's maybe only a couple inches, but it makes a difference. So get the ball a little bit longer left. I think wider right, more patient through zero, and then wider left. That'll give you some more tension to work with. And then you want to feel the ball stretch around the left and stretch towards that right sector line, or what would be the right sector line. As you can see, you just kind of rotate here. There's not really much direction forwards. If you look at that left knee, you're just kind of rotating in place. You're never really getting that forward translation across the circle. So you got to think about, like I said, feeling that ball stretch down the right sector line. Feel the ball pull you towards the sector a little bit and step forward towards it. Because as you can see here, as you go into the next turn, you kind of step around. And you're pretty long and relaxed with the upper body, but you're stepping around with that right leg. And you can see in the other video, you over-rotate a little bit more. But this throw, your feet are a little bit more even. So you just need a little bit more direction in that first turn. Like I said, ball longer left, ball more stretched to the sector, and then step towards the hammer, and then that will make your right foot come down a little bit sooner and be a little bit more in the direction of the sector, gives you a little bit more pressure and tension to work with. Like I said, pretty relaxed upper body though. As you're going through double support, you can see that left heel grounds a little bit late. But otherwise you're turning with it pretty well. You can see you're kind of pressuring back against the ball. You're using that right leg. It's not quite turning with it as well as it could be, but you can see the pressure coming from the legs, which is good. And then I think the next big thing happens right about here. So this position right here is fine, but if you look at the general movement of double support, pretty good through here. And then as the ball passes zero, watch what the ball does and watch what the lower body does. So as the ball goes, the ball's going left. You're getting long left. But then if you look at the hips are going back away from it. All right, you can see that right leg kind of stuck where it is. And you don't see that right leg start moving with the ball until right about there. So on this first catch, I like your chill, I like your patience, but as the ball starts to approach zero, think about turning that right side with the ball a little bit more. Connect that hip to the ball a little bit more. Stabilize that left side a little bit more, which all comes from that right leg. So you need to get that right leg turned a little bit more. And just turn with the ball in general. Your whole body needs to turn, needs to rotate. As the ball goes left, your body needs to rotate towards the left as well. Because as you can see, like I said, the ball passes, but it's like you kind of push your hips back away from the ball a little bit. So like you're trying to get the ball long left, but your hips aren't moving with it. So there's just a little bit of disconnection there. And then towards the end of double support, you can see this right side kind of spinning out. You're going to get pulled around this left side rather than staying centered. And then the same thing as the previous turn. When you want to feel that ball stretch towards the sector, you can see you don't really have much direction forwards. You get this heel down, you open up that left side and try to step into the next turn. And then you never really translate forward into the circle. Like I said, that left knee could drop forward towards the circle or towards the sector. You feel that ball stretch towards the sector. Really, the ball should pull you forward through that left knee, through that left toe, forward into the circle. Because you kind of get the same thing here where that left toe kind of comes down and this left knee is kind of stiff. And then you go to step in. You're kind of pulling back on the ball a little bit as it's going into the sector when the ball should be kind of pulling you forwards, not breaking posture, but it should kind of, like I said, give you some horizontal translation, forward translation across the circle. And then you go to catch, and catch a little bit more shallow here. Feet are even once again. Ball's a little bit down on that right side. So like I said in that first video that I kind of took a look at, like I said, it looks like you really dropped that ball on that right side. So you can think about kind of keeping the hands up, keeping the ball up, keeping the orbit up. Allows the hips to kind of get under you and have a little bit better posture, a little bit better connection and tension. Where, like I said, you kind of catch here, and it looks like you're really kind of over-rotating, kind of stepping around into that next turn. And when you do this, there's a little bit of separation between the hips and the shoulders, but it's not a ton of tension in the body. You're not feeling a ton of tension from the ball. So what's going to happen here, the left side is probably going to pull. That's usually what happens here if you over-rotate and kind of catch and you're too rotational in the throw. So as you go through double support, you can see you're really trying to get into it now with that right leg. So you see you catch, and you're starting to see that right side turn. You're starting to see this left side kind of work back on the ball. Good line of force up through that right leg, up through that left shoulder. But then you kind of lead the ball through zero. So you had pretty good patience through entry, pretty good patience through the last turn, and then in this turn, you can start to see that left side pulling back, shortening the orbit around the left. You can see it really pulling up and back through that left shoulder. And you start to see that left leg kind of turning independently, that left side turning independently of that right leg here. So, and you can also see that left side kind of lift up and pull up into the throw rather than let the ball go around and out to the sector. So once again, you're kind of pulling back on the ball. But your lower body is a little bit more connected. It's just your left shoulder is kind of taking over and kind of sabotaging things. As you go into the next turn, you can kind of see the same thing here with that right leg kind of peeling off a little bit late. It's not quite connected. You're going to kind of tend to step around. And you can see you catch. And you're a little bit leaning forwards towards the back of the circle. Like I said, so you're losing a little bit of tension backwards. You're losing that direction forwards into the sector in single support and backwards in double support. So you get pulled a little bit forwards here. You have a little bit more separation here, but you can just see it looks like you're a little bit forward on the toes. And then as you go through double support here, you can see you kind of throw that head back, try to get back on the ball, but it's not going to happen perfectly because, like I said, you're a little bit forward on the toes. So then as you release, and you can see most of this finish comes from that left side pulling back away from it, and that's left leg pushing and straightening out. You're not really getting a ton of work coming from that right leg. Like, it's doing enough to stabilize a little bit, but you can really see that left side pulling back, and you're shortening the orbit around the left. As you can see, when you go to release, the ball was out a little bit further left in the previous turns. Now you're shortening it, pulling that left side, and it's a decent finish. But you're just not quite getting back on it. You're shortening the orbit. You got to stabilize this left side a little bit more. So when you catch in this final turn, catch, think about waiting, and then don't really start working until the ball's kind of like over this right leg or maybe in between your legs in front of the body. And think about keeping that left side a little bit more stable and finishing out around the left into the sector instead of pulling back on it. So, yeah. Decent looking throw. Like I said, I think it's better than the other one in terms of especially orbit. It's a little bit flatter, a little bit more level. But like I said, if you fix some things in your entry, you stabilize that left side a little bit, get that right arm a little bit straighter a little bit sooner, and then just get a little bit more direction. Feel that ball kind of stretch towards the sector. Step forward towards it. Step that right hip to the high point. And then, especially in the second turn here, you need to turn with the ball a little bit better. Like I said, ball goes left, body goes right. Got to turn and stay centered, turn with the ball, find that stability, and then find that direction. And then you kind of just keep those things going throughout the throw. Where, like I said, that left side kind of takes over to keep things going. So if you can feel that right side tension a little bit better, feel more direction, connection, stretch towards the sector, I think things are going to get a lot better. So yeah, Nick, let me know if you have any questions. And if anybody else out there has any interest in online coaching, go check out my website, gripandrip.co. Sign up now. Indoor season is here. If you wait any longer, it's kind of going to be too late. I'll still love to help you out, but now's the time to sign up if you want to start making some big gains. I've seen a lot of good progress from my athletes over the past couple of months, especially as they go into weight throw season. A lot of people are already setting PRs. It's December, so you'd love to see that. But those people, I started working with them a few months ago, if not 6 months ago, and now they're really starting to reap the rewards of their hard work and their efforts. So, like I said, sign up for some online coaching and then reap the rewards in March when you want to go drop some bombs at NCAAs or conference championships or whatever. And then especially going out into outdoors, you have even more time, throw hammer real far. Love to see it. All right, so thank you for watching. Until next time, Sean Don signing off. Have a great day, people. See ya.